Hello friends, welcome to the world of project management and for a overview session on project procurement management. Motto of this training is to share my experience in preparing for PMP certification and have prepared few slides. Friends, let's start with my introduction here. I'm Anil Kumar Dharam, based in the city of Nizams, Hyderabad, working in IT from last 14 years and currently working as project lead and manager from last 4 years. I succeeded in my certification in 2019 and supporting two major projects currently and giving training on SAP and project management. Let's quickly move to our agenda for this session that we are going to discuss on the introduction to the procurement management, the processes involved in the procurement management, the key concepts, trends and emerging practices, tailoring considerations, consideration of agile or adaptive environments, and activities involved in complete project procurement management as per the Rita Mulchay Chart. Before starting its introduction, let's discuss on what is procurement management. The project procurement management includes the processes necessary to purchase or acquire products, services, or results needed from outside the project team. And it includes the management and control processes required to develop and administer the agreements such as contracts, purchase orders, memorandum of agreements, that is MOAs, or internal service agreements, that is SLAs. Hope you understood what is procurement management here. We have three processes in this procurement management knowledge area, that is plan procurement management, conduct procurements, and control procurements. Let's go with each definition of these three processes. First, with plan procurement management. The process of documenting the project procurement decisions, specifying the approach, and identifying the potential sellers is the plan procurement management. Coming to conduct procurements. The process of obtaining the seller responses, selecting a seller, and awarding a contract. This is about the conduct procurements. And coming to the control procurements, the process of managing the procurement relationships, monitoring the contract performance, making changes and corrections as appropriate, and closing out the contracts. This is about controlling the procurements. Hope you understood about these three processes. Let's go with some basic steps for this procurement process, how it goes through all the processes involved here. That is from the planning, conducting, and controlling. That is, in the first step, we will decide what and how to buy. And in the second step, researching the market by Google or SAP Concur, etc., or any other sites. Third, the third step is asking the sellers for offers. And in fourth step, we are making a choice. And in the fifth step, we are signing a contract and making a reservation. And in the sixth step, receiving what was agreed from them. And last, the seventh, just we are paying for it. So hope you understood about each process definition and the processes involved, the steps involved in the procurement management. Let's move to the key concepts of the procurement management knowledge area. First, we will discuss the buyer versus seller, the contract project manager role in the contracts, and centralized versus decentralized environment. First, with buyer versus seller. In simple words, a buyer is a person, a team who is buying something or who intends to buy it. That is within the same company or outside the company. And a buyer is also called as a client, customer, prime contractor, or acquiring the organization, or government agency, or service requester, or purchaser. Hope you understood who is a buyer here. And coming to the seller. Seller. Seller is a provider or a supplier of products, services, or results. And a seller is also called as a contractor, subcontractor, vendor, service provider, or supplier. Okay. Hope you understood about who is a buyer and who is a seller. So let's move to the next key concepts. What is a contract? A contract is a mutually binding agreement between the seller and the buyer. That is, seller to provide the specific product, services or results, and a buyer to provide the monetary or other valuable consideration. And also, this involves the legal documents between the buyer and the seller that is enforceable in a court of law. That is the purely the agreements. And also in this, the project management team may seek support from the different specialists in contracting, purchasing, law, and technical disciplines as mandated by an organization policy. And that process involved here is contract requires formality and it is a legally binding document. And also all the contract related communication should be formally written and all the products and project management requirements must be stated here. And also a formal change has to be initiated for all the work that are not stated, and also all the changes to the contract must be agreed and signed by all the parties. And finally, the change must be approved in written format. Hope you understand the complete process in a contract. So let's go with the next key concept, that is project manager role in the contracts. The project manager should have knowledge of procurement process first, and he has to understand the contract terms and conditions, and he has to uphold the entire contract, and also he has to cooperate with the contract manager, and he has to get involved in the contract negotiation, and he has to protect the project integrity, and he has to ensure that the contract contains all the project requirements that includes the meetings, reports or penalties. And also he has to identify the risk and include it in the contract. And also he helps in tailoring the contract to support the project needs. And also he includes the procurement process steps into the project schedule. And also he monitors the procurement activities according to the procurement plan. That is in order to verify the compliance with the project objectives. So these are all the roles of the project manager with respect to a contract. Hope you understood how is the key role that the project manager plays here in terms of contract. Okay, let's move to the next key concept, that is centralized versus decentralized environment with respect to the procurements. Centralized. What is centralized here? The single procurement department handling all the procurements. One procurement manager may handle multiple projects here. That is centralized concept. And coming to the decentralized, the full-time procurement manager is assigned to each project. Hope you understood about the centralized and decentralized concepts. And we have some advantages and disadvantages of both the centralized and decentralized procurements. Let's go one by one. First, with centralized, that is, advantages are the increased expertise in contracting, standardized company practices, lessons learned, etc., and individual with clear career path in procurement. And coming to the disadvantages, the individuals may work in multiple projects, not enough attention to single project. It may be difficult for the project manager to obtain the information when needed. And coming to the decentralized advantages, first is more loyalty to the project, second, better understanding of the project and its needs, and last is easier access to contracting expertise. And coming to the disadvantages of the decentralized is that the duplication of the expertise, the less standardization of contracting expertise, difficult to maintain a high level of contracting expertise, and no home department nor procurement career path for contracting managers. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of both the centralized and decentralized concept. Okay, hope you understood about the key concepts of the project procurement management. Let's move to its training and emerging practices. In the training and emerging practices, we have advances in the tools, more advanced risk management, changing contracting processes, logistics and supply chain management, technology and stakeholder relations, and trail engagements. Let's explain one by one in more detail about these trends and emerging practices. First, with advances in tools. There has been significant improvement in the development of tools to manage the procurement and implementation phases of a project. And we have many online tools for procurement now. Give the buyers a single point where the procurements can be advertised and provides sellers with a single source to find the procurement documentations and complete them directly online. Hope you understood these advances in tools. Moving to more advanced risk management. In this, an increasing trend in the risk management is to write the contracts that accurately allocate some specific risk to those entities most capable of managing them. Hope you understood this. Moving to changing the contracting processes. In this, there has been a significant growth in the mega projects in the past several years, particularly in the areas of infrastructure development and engineering projects, such as multi-million dollar projects are now common in the market. And also, a large portion of this involved international contracts with multiple contractors from many countries and are inherently more risky than the projects using only local contractors. Hope you understood this point. Moving to the logistics and supply chain management. Here, because so many large engineering construction infrastructure projects are done through these multiple international contractors, the management of the flow of materials become very critical to the successful completion. That is, for long lead items, both the manufacture of the items and their transportation to the project site become schedule drivers nowadays. Okay, hope you understood about this logistics and supply chain management. Moving to the technology and stakeholder relations. In this, the best example in this is a trend in infrastructure and commercial construction projects is the use of technology, including the web cameras, to improve the stakeholder communications and relations. Hope you understood this technology and stakeholder relations. Moving to the trail engagement. Not every seller is well suited for an organization environment. Therefore, some projects will engage several candidate sellers for initial deliverables and work products on a paid basis before making the full commitment to a large portion of the project scope. Hope you understood this point, the trail engagements. So, we have covered the trending and emerging practices of this procurement management knowledge area. Hope you understood this. Let's move to the next concept, the tailoring considerations. In the tailoring considerations, we have the complexity of the procurement, the physical location, governance and regulatory environment, availability of contractors. Let's explain one by one in more detail. The project manager may need to tailor the way that the project procurement management processes are applied. That is, the complexity of procurement, the physical location, the governance and regulatory environment, and availability of contractors. The complexity of procurement. Is there one main procurement or there multiple procurements at different times with the different sellers that added to the complexity of the procurement? So this has to be considered. And regarding to the physical location, we have to consider that are the buyers and sellers in the same location, are reasonably close, are in different time zones or countries or continents. So these factors has to be considered. And moving to the governance and regulatory environments. In these, we have to consider our local laws and regulatory regarding the procurement activities integrated with any organizational procurement policies, or how does this affect contracting, the audit requirements, etc. Moving to the availability of contractors. In this, we need to consider are there any available contractors who are capable of performing the work or not. So these all need to be considered while we are doing the tailorings of choosing a different process to this procurement management knowledge area. Fine, hope you understood all the tailoring considerations. Let's move to the considerations of agile or adaptive environments. In agile environments, specific sellers may be used to extend the team. This collaborative working relationship can lead to a shared risk procurement model where both the buyer and the seller share in the risk and rewards associated with a project. And also in the larger projects may use an adaptive approach for some deliverables and a more stable approach for other parts. In these cases, a governing agreement such as a master services agreement MSA may be used for the overall engagement with the adaptive work being placed in an appendix or supplement. That is, this allows the changes to occur on the adaptive scope without impacting the overall contract. Okay, hope you understood these considerations for the agile or adaptive environments too. Let's move to the next concept, the activities involved in complete procurement management knowledge area as per the Rita Mulchay Chart. Let's go the steps one by one. How the Rita Mulchay defined the steps with respect to the procurement management. Starting with determining the development approach, life cycle, and how you will plan for each area, and assesses what to purchase and create procurement documents, and determining the team charter and all the rules and responsibilities. The next step, go back the iterations. The next, finalize the procurement strategy and documents. And next, finalize all the management plans. And next, develop realistic and sufficient project management plan and baselines. Next, request changes. Next, evaluate the sellers, negotiate and contract with sellers. Next, use and share project knowledge. Next, update project management plan and project documents. Next, take action to monitor and control the project. Next, measure the performance against the other metrics in the project management plan. The next, analyze and evaluate the data and performance. Next, determine if variances warrant a corrective action or other change request. Next, influence the factors that cause the changes. The next, request changes. Next, update the project management plan and project documents, and the manage, evaluate, and close resources. So, these all steps involved as part of the procurement management knowledge area. Hope you understood about all the concepts which we have discussed here. That is the introduction part to the procurement management, its processes involved in the procurement management, the key concepts, trends and emerging practices, the tailoring considerations, agile or adaptive environments, and the activities involved in complete project procurement management area as per the Rita Mulchay Chart. Okay, so this completes our first session on introduction to the procurement management knowledge area. Hope you liked it with this available information which I have prepared, and hope this session is easy and understandable. Let's discuss more detail on the next first process, that is plan procurement management process, in the next video. Kindly provide your feedback on the given email ID below and subscribe my channel if you like this video. Bye for now. It's your Anil Kumar Dharam.